Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hi, Margie. Hi, everyone. I am Ramona Ramirez. It is lovely to see you
Likewise.
this day after the season 13 first installment of the Beverly Hills reunion. Yes.
Yeah.
Before we start, I want to put out a request for you, a loving request to please rate, review, subscribe. It helps us so much. This is going to be our 39th episode. Margie, we've been doing this almost a year.
God, we're
It's
almost
kind of
40.
wild. I know. Oh my God, we're almost 40. We need a big party. We need a party next week. Wait, is this our 40th episode?
No, I think it's 30.
It is
I
a
think you're right.
39? Okay. So yes, please rate, review, subscribe. And I also want to say I have no idea why my audio has sounded like I have been recording inside of an aluminum room for the last 2 episodes. So I went back to my old setup. I hope it sounds great. If lest anyone think that I'm okay with the way that my audio sounded, Margie sounded great. Mine sounded
Last week,
terrible.
but the week before, I sounded like I was in a tinfoil room. So it's just, we're figuring it out.
We're figuring it out. We're figuring it out. But just so you know, if things come out, if this podcast comes out and it does not sound top quality, just know that I'm fucking bummed about it on the other side. Like, I'm not out here trying to put out stuff that sounds bad, because
it's not for lack of trying.
It's not for lack of trying. Last week, I went through my take 2 fucking times, and it was an all day / all night endeavor. And so, but just know that the bad audio is my worst podcast nightmare. It's made me turn off podcasts before. So thank you for bearing with it. Thank you. If you turned it off, I get it. But hopefully this week, everything will be worked out. That's it.
Should we just touch on Bravo News and cocaine and Leah and Kathy Griffin?
This week in Bravo News has been it's just coming and coming. It's relentless.
Explosive. And also not, because didn't we know that Andy gives everyone cocaine? And I guess I'm sort of confused by this lawsuit. I'm like, what workplace doesn't have cocaine? Don't work in entertainment, don't work in finance, don't work in the law. What do you really
don't work in finance?
I'm serious. Everyone, I don't understand
don't
why
work in tech.
And also, am I really to believe that Leah can't handle a workplace where I just don't understand what this lawsuit is. It seems very whiny, and maybe there's no I'm trying to grab onto the believe women part of it, and I'm just not seeing it. It's I get that they didn't ply you with alcohol. You don't have to say yes to that.
No.
Unless your job really is on the line. I'll be curious to see the evidence of that. If you don't drink, you're not going to be on the show anymore. Is that what was happening? Because then it's okay, that's in alignment with if you don't touch my dick, you lose your job. But otherwise, This just feels like it's an environment that's not healthy for you to work in. So find a different workplace. The only workplace I've ever heard of that doesn't have drugs and alcohol, that doesn't have drugs, is when my sister was an Episcopal priest. But you better believe there's still alcohol in that bitch. There was a whole cheating scandal with the
wine
rector.
in an Episcopalian church?
Wine every Sunday, yes.
The blood of Christ is there too? Okay.
They always say wherever you find 4 Episcopalians, you'll find a 5th. A vodka or whatever, So, but my point is I just don't see how this lawsuit was filed, how it's going to actually go to court. It just seems... It just seems like they're trying to tattle on Andy Cohen. And I don't think any of us are shocked that Andy Cohen does cocaine. I don't care.
I don't think anyone's shocked that Andy Cohen does cocaine. I don't give a shit what consenting adults do in their private time.
And he didn't force them. He offered.
No. Yeah.
Kathy Griffin's he offered it to me twice. And it's ooh, you're an adult and you said no.
Right.
What is the drama? I just am I'm at a loss.
And plus, I don't think he's technically their boss. He works for Bravo, but he's not their boss.
I mean, I could understand not wanting to let Andy down. I could understand how it would be uncomfortable to report him. But again, there's like nothing really to report. This isn't unless they want to change the rules and make this like a workplace where HR is front and center, everybody sits down and the rules are clear. If anyone offers you drugs, you report them or it's against the law. Like, you know what I mean? It just feels like this is a real loose world. And if you ladies need it to be something else, then take some action and change the rules. Don't just like whine about it and tattletale on Andy Cohen. I don't know. I feel like a bitch. I feel like some sort of anti-feminist by being so mad about this.
I hear what you're saying. This is really, it's nuanced. It's gray. I do better with nuance than I do with gray. Gray is one of the stickiest, most uncomfortable places for me to be. I'm sure I can speak on your behalf with that too. It's like, I know that in certain states, substance abuse disorder, which can be called alcoholism, it can be considered a disability, and you can collect disability benefits while you are recovering or getting some continuous sobriety under your belt, which I think is great. So when I look at it from that standpoint, when it's looked at as a disability, like I can almost make sense of her lawsuit. But when she didn't get sober until her subsequent seasons, like after Tiki Torch season and the season where they went to, I don't know, did they go to Montauk or something where she threw the squid ink at Ramona? I don't know. The one with the martini guy with the sweater, like the meme guy was all, ooh, what? She knows what goes into it. And no one should have to leave a job they love. No one should have to leave a job where they're making money to support their families and being able to afford their homes. But at the same time, she knows what's going on.
Well, so and it's not a workplace
where
like alcohol and drugs are strictly prohibited. Like when I sign contracts and go to a workplace, I am told with no question that I'm not to show up drunk. I'm not to drink on the job. I can drink socially after, but whatever. This is not that. Like, or if they want it to be that, then take some action to make that change. And if that change doesn't happen, then you need to find something else to do. Like, I don't know.
That's how I feel too. I could be missing something completely. And
maybe there'll be something worth looking at in the documents, but
but it is, Brandy Glanville is 10 kinds of fucking foul. Leah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess I need more information before I can make like an affirmative, yes, I stand behind this, or no, this is absolute bullshit. It felt kind of, it's so hard to not think of all of these things as being hella opportunistic.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And and it's just, I don't know. But so Kathy, I didn't even know Kathy Griffin came out and said something in defense of this lawsuit, which is what it sounds like.
Well, she said something years ago, if memory serves, that like Andy Cohen does cocaine and everyone clutched their pearls for 2 seconds and then went on with their lives because who cares? But then she showed up again in like an Instagram post saying like, I did Watch What Happens Live twice. And in a room, outside of the studios, Andy Cohen offered me cocaine twice and I said no and nothing happened. Like, who cares? It just is like, that is so. And again, it's like, it's in terms of what we talk about on this podcast, it's like, what is your part? Your part is either not pitching a fit in the moment because it's so offensive to you, or your part is that you went back more than one. Like, where's anyone's personal responsibility in this? Like, this just isn't, they're treating it at the level of infractions that are like really serious and really personally damaging.
Right.
And this just seems like you don't like that work environment. I didn't like being a waitress. So
I know.
Eventually I worked my way out.
I know. Yeah. I didn't like making balloon arches in high school. It terrified the shit out of me because I don't like the sound of popping balloons. I quit that job.
Mm-hmm. But isn't that, and that's the thing. And they were saying, oh, I've been listening to Rachel Goes Rogue, her stupid
Oh my
podcast.
God. Thank
That
you,
is
Margie, because
somehow
I have not.
it's 17 minutes long, this week's episode. And I turned it on and it felt like I was listening for a lifetime. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
this is the most boring, slow thing. But anyway, she was talking about how, like, well, we don't know how reality TV affects people when they grow old. And I'm like, yes, we do. You weren't alive for it, but I watched The Real World. I watched The
Uh,
Hills. I watched,
yeah.
like, what are you talking about? Kristen
I've been
Cavallari is
watching
doing
the
great.
right.
She's dating a 24-year-old model. She has a jewelry line. Nothing's the matter. It's you have to take care of your own life. And Rachel, having emerged from 3 full months in inpatient rehab, this is what you come out with, is just blamey, blamey, blamey. Just
That's
don't have a
weird.
podcast. Don't talk
That's
about
weird.
reality TV. Like, don't do this anymore if you're so concerned. Anyways. And I
I mean,
think she's angling to get back on. Anyways, go ahead.
oh, I wonder. Are they complete? They're completely done recording the season. Like they can't. I mean, they would pick cameras back up
Yes, but
if,
no,
yeah.
I think they're done with the season. But she's saying things like, well, like, of course I needed to take a season away because blah, blah, blah. Whereas before she was like, I'm never going back. It's so toxic. And now she's starting to, like, her language is
She's all,
changing. It's
would I
okay to
go on
love being a
Traders? Right,
reality TV star. It's okay to love
right,
that. But
right.
it's also like, if you're going to go into the military, you got to understand don't go into the
Yeah.
military if you hate combat. I don't know what to
Don't
say.
make balloon arches if you can't stand the way balloons pop.
Thank
That's the way it
you.
sounds. Yeah, dude. Yeah, and yeah. I follow that Instagram account Bachelor Data. I don't know what credentials she has, but they're obviously like math or statistician based. I guess I could look it up, but if I open Instagram right now while we're recording to look up what she is, I'll get in a vortex. I need tunnel vision as someone with ADHD. I did take my medicine at a ungodly early hour, so it's had time. I feel like I can pay attention. My point is, she had a post that said, "The Bachelor has been on TV since 2002." And a little part of my soul, it just like went in the corner and kind of hit its face, like in some shame, because I have watched every season since 2002. And I didn't watch Bachelor Pad, but I can't even say I didn't watch it like in its entirety. Like I would have it on the background, I would turn it on, just be like, this is fucked up. They're throwing eggs at someone's ass because they've decided that she's the least attractive in the bunch. That was 10 kinds of fucking foul. That was emotionally abusive. But my point is, Rachel, if I'm to believe that, it's like the only thing that it's gotten me watching The Bachelor for 22 years. I'm mortified. Don't look at me. I'm hideous. I'm
No,
kidding.
Ramona, that's the whole point of this podcast, is that there
I
is no
know. You're
shame in
right.
reality TV, that it is
You're
not
right. You're right.
trash. It's a
You're right.
teaching
You're right.
tool. Of course, you've watched 22 years of it. And of
Yeah.
course, yeah, our reactions to what we see has changed over the years because we've gotten more mature and more mentally healthy. And
Which
yeah.
is normal attention fucking PK.
Mm-hmm.
People grow and change over 20 years. Hello. But yeah, it's like, and watching Housewives has only made me see how it's possible to look 20 years younger than you are if you have a fuck ton of money. A. B. In my wildest fantasies, I would love a living room size closet with a full on seating area, plush carpet, chandeliers, shelves for days. I don't need it to be mechanical. I think that's kind of cheesy. I don't need to lift shit down with a goddamn rod. But if I had a space of my own where I could look at my shoes and my handbags and my clothes and my jewelry would be out and I could pack and I could have speakers put in, oh, like, whew, that sounds good. That's what I've gotten from watching these shows. And miles and years of entertainment and things to talk about. And it's fucking fun. These shows are so fucking fun.
And it's a study in human behavior. Like I
Yeah.
stand by that. Like I don't encounter a ton of people like the ones I see on reality TV shows. So it's interesting to learn
True.
about a different community. I'm not going to ever be on MTV's The Challenge. I hate heights and I don't like to be cold. And like a lot of their challenges happen at great heights and overnight in cold
Ugh.
places. So,
Going into a
anyways.
coffin full of spiders,
Oh God.
I don't think I could do it. Okay, I
No.
just got the creepies. Anyway, and then okay, so Brandy's lawsuit came out this week, or was that last week?
I think it was this week.
Yeah, it was like they just kept coming hot and fast.
And is Leah attached to Brandy's lawsuit or is that separate?
Oh,
I think it's separate.
I'm pretty sure it's separate. Yeah.
Brandy's is just like, he said something sexual on the phone one time. And it's like, have you watched What Happens Live? His whole life is like objectifying bartenders and,
okay. She has fucking balls too, because she was the one that went on Watch What Happens Live those many years ago. And she talked shit about Joanna Krupa. And Joanna sued her, which frankly, I completely understand why. So again, full fucking hip, Brandy, full fucking hip. And who was I talking to this week? I was talking with someone that knows someone whose kid goes to the same school as one of Brandy's kids. And let's just say I was really hoping that the love she claims to, I'm sure the love she claims to have for her sons is real and true in her way. But from what I heard, her behavior was not, and I feel really bad for her kids. And I just, I don't know what I expected. I don't know what I expected. I just had more faith. I feel like people can have all the bad behavior they want, but if they're a reality star, if they're someone like Brandy or I don't know, when the kids are the collateral damage, and I don't think it's going to matter what profession Brandy goes into, I think she's going to be a fucking hot mess who needs help.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't know. That's just it. I don't. And at the same time, if she was a legitimate oh God, see, I don't get to make a call on what's a legitimate victim. That's not for me to make. And her reputation should not influence how I feel about the lawsuit she filed. And yet, I have a preconceived notion and judgment about Brandy, as I know a lot of us do, because she's fucking Brandy. But it's like, do I get to say?
Well, it's just hard to believe that she was offended when the reason this lawsuit, it seems the timing of this lawsuit is curious because it's happening on the heels of her being seemingly rightfully accused, because it's on camera, of sexually assaulting someone. So for her to say, like, I was offended by a sexual comment, that if you again have ever watch What Happens Live, which is on 4 days a week, like for years now, it's, if you're going to have a conversation with Andy Cohen, you should expect someone to be objectified. That just is sort of in his nature.
I mean,
and again, if you don't like that, then don't be friends with Andy. Like, I just don't understand how this is a lawsuit. It just makes me feel like it just is so, just like, handle your shit interpersonally, handle your shit in therapy. The expense and the time that goes into a lawsuit is, oh my God, that money could be so much better spent on real problems in our city. I'm just like, guys.
Yeah, and Brandy is also claiming how much she needs to hustle. So let me ask you this.
We all do. Cry me a river, Brandy. Welcome to being an adult.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Welcome to being an adult. I'm sure have you seen that latest T-Mobile commercial that has all the fucking A stars in it? I think Bradley Cooper's in it.
With his mom, yeah.
I looked at Josh when we saw it the other night. I'm like, that's the strike. That's the fucking strike right there. They're making money. They're making probably a fuck ton of money that they didn't make for 5 months, taking jobs away from the actors that need to work a certain amount of hours in order to keep their health insurance. I know I'm speaking to the choir. But that's the strike. Like, I know everyone needs cash. Like, I get it. They need to pay everybody. They need to pay their team and their mortgage and their rent and their whatever. But I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Brandy is, I don't think that Brandy is, I don't know if Brandy has any business doing this. You know what? I just need to shut the fuck up. Like, who cares? I'm not saying anything new that people haven't said all week.
No, I mean, I just don't. I don't know if she has any business filing a lawsuit. Like, I think that's sort of my bottom line.
Right.
Is I kept reading through these articles trying to like get traction on like what is the problem, and it just seems like all of a sudden she's bothered by things that have been going on for decades that she profited from. And now that she's in trouble, she's like, "Oh, well, he did it too. He did it first and he's in charge." It's like, but you're an adult too. Anyways, you get it.
He's also never on fucking set when you guys are filming these shows.
No, but I do believe there was some talk about how the women who accept his offer of drugs are favorited, and that's fine. You know, I get that. But I also don't know if that's a lawsuit. It's just like,
no.
Again, I've been in workplaces where like the guys who play golf with the boss, like their jokes get in the script more. Okay, if I need to play golf, like I'll learn if it's really that important to me. Otherwise, I'll just like do my job. And like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't. Everyone, maybe it's just like in the Bravo universe right now, like, and it happens in this reunion too. Everyone insists that they're the victim. Everyone.
Holy
and it's like,
shit.
We all are.
Holy shit.
Everyone's a victim. But as they say in Al-Anon, there are no victims, only volunteers. At a certain point, if you keep putting yourself in the same position, you are volunteering to be a victim, you know?
Bruh.
Right?
Yes. So, yes, you come from a family of lawyers, powerful lady lawyers, and I fucking love it. What would make a lawyer take this case?
Money, 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 money. It's like ambulance chasers.
If like, I mean, like, do they think it's going to happen? Do they think that it's?
I think there's plenty that just don't give a shit. I think there's a crop of lawyers that will take, I mean, and I'm sure these are top lawyers that charge, you know, high hundreds of dollars per hour.
I mean,
and they bill every hour, every minute, every fraction of an hour you are paying them. And, you know, if they want to keep their like yachts and verbo lifestyles or whatever the fuck, like people love money. So
they do.
And also it's easy work because it probably won't go to trial. It'll either be thrown out or it'll be mediated and a small settlement will be reached. And this is just for the sake of embarrassing Andy Cohen. It's not going to go to court. Nobody's going to litigate.
Holy shit.
Nobody's putting Kathy Griffin on the stand to be like, and how many times did he offer you cocaine? And you took it no times? Okay. It's like, this is not, it's a waste of everyone's time.
And this is the thing, this is the other thing too, which just kind of, when you're talking about cocaine, it's like, I'm just going to say this. If I go and watch What Happens Live and I do a shot ski and then I'm also sitting and I'm nursing a cocktail, I'm going to be faded off my ass. But alcohol is served at restaurants. I can go into a market and buy it. I can go to a fucking corner store and buy it. It's, if I have a drink in the middle of the day, it's like going to be a fucking sweatshirt you can buy on Etsy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it is so acceptable. And yet, cannabis and cocaine and for sure psychedelics still have all of this stigma attached. And yes, I understand that cannabis is legal in some states and in some states it's not. That just, you know how I feel about that. Decriminalize cannabis 100%. legalize it. I don't know. You drive and you could end somebody's life, or you could end your own life when you drive under the influence of alcohol. So unless these people are going on saying, well, I got so fucking drunk that I don't remember what I said, or I couldn't drive after, or I passed out when I got home, why are you talking shit about cocaine being offered to you? Is it just because it's illegal? Is that it?
Well, and also it just didn't come with any threat. Unless Andy Cohen said,
Right.
if you don't do this cocaine,
Right.
you're never coming on this show again. I'm not paying you for this appearance. I'm going to shit talk you. There's no threat. Someone made an offer and someone said no. And like, that to me is just like, that's life. A lot of,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I just can't, I can't get outraged about this. Like, I think what's on my mind is that, remember the Bachelor in Paradise lawsuit where there was like excessive drinking going on and there was a sexual assault.
And
that
no one could enthusiastically consent. Right.
And it felt like worth shutting the show down, having discussions about it, because there weren't any guardrails in place. And then they put guardrails in place. And it hasn't happened that we know of since, and I guess that was a real problem. This is just like you're not having easy work anymore, Brandi Glanville. Like, you're not getting an easy paycheck. And so now you're just pitching a fit through the legal system. And that bums me out.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. And again, I want to stress, we're not asking for perfect victims. There's no such thing. There shouldn't be such thing. But Brandi is, excuse me.
And I'm not even saying she's not victimized. I'm just saying this is the kind of victimization that I would imagine could be addressed in therapy and not in the court system, because it's expensive and it's time consuming, and it just feels intended to embarrass Andy Cohen, and like, good luck.
I was just going to say, like, I don't know if you can. I don't think you can embarrass
reclining in
Andy
his like
Cohen.
Hamptons deck right now, being like,
in
his
beautiful apartment, when when he's having another one across the street, like rehabbed and custom built. Yeah,
good for him.
I mean, he's got fuck you money, dude. Which, like, I mean, what would we do without Bravo? So many things we would not be doing without Bravo. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Whatever. Oh, God. And, here's the thing. We're talking about this so much because it is so hard to watch a reunion and take notes. And also because it's so much easier when things are, at least for my brain to process, when they're parsed out into little duo or trio snippets, like in a regular episode. But this one, it was just like everyone is coming in hot and bothered. Not in a good way. Shall we?
Yeah, let's get started.
Let's do it.
We'd start at Culver Studios with Kyle palming crystals to help her with anxiety and stress. And Garcelle sages her trailer, praying for positive energy and everybody speaking their truth. And then Avi, this was the one time I didn't like Avi, when he's yelling at Sutton saying, no crying today, no crying, strong Sutton. I was like, Avi, don't perform, just be Avi. You're so cute when you're just you.
Also, like, normalize fucking crying, dude. Like, cry. It's fine, for Christ's sake. I have to say that when I saw the crystals, and I think Garcelle was burning Palo Santo.
Oh,
and the only reason why, no, please do not apologize. I'm not 100% sure, but when I saw it, it looked like Palo Santo. All I want to say is that I hope that it was, I wouldn't be me if I didn't say this. I really hope it was ethically sourced Palo Santo, because it became so popular with like the woo-woo Earth Cafe goop crowd that the indigenous people that use it legitimately in ceremonies that they've had for years and years and years couldn't access it. So when I've purchased it in the past, It's been ethically sourced. I also live in the Bay Area. I also will shut the fuck up right now. I know that not everything has to be a goddamn lecture. I apologize. This is who I am. My point is, when I went to LA last year, when my aunt was in the hospital and I wanted to be with my family and I wanted to go see her, I packed my little rose quartz heart that I had gotten in Sedona, which made it extra crystally because, of all the vortexes there. The vortex? The vortex. Vortex. The
I don't know.
vortex is vorti? Anyway, vortexi? Doesn't matter. And so I could appreciate that. Listen, anything that you can use as a coping skill to get you through a moment that you feel you need a little emotional support, as long as it's not something that's hurting you or others, do it. Like when I felt my little quartz heart, rose quartz heart, and the rose quartz, I think, means you like stay on your own side. It helps you remember who you are. It helps you remember to love yourself. It helps you stay in your self-esteem. And it's like, I need all of the guarding I can get when I am with my dad. And I knew I was going to be with him all day, every day for a few days when we were all at the hospital. And so when I would reach my hand in my pocket and feel it, it gave me a physical stimulus change because it was smooth and cool. And it also helped me remember, even for a split second, stay on your own side. You're okay. You are a grown-up. You have tools to help you navigate this relationship in these couple of days. I don't think there's only so much the crystal can do. You have to show up and do the things. The crystal isn't going to magically make you have a high self-esteem or make me feel like I'm shrouded in protection or whatever, but it was a good tool. I'm sorry. I just went off on that for way too long. And that,
No, I agree. I mean, it can't hurt. And if nothing else, like with everything that people dismiss as woo-woo, it's like maybe, but what it does is it grounds you and centers you. So like people, I just talked to
right,
a friend who had like a Reiki session that wasn't even like on the phone or online. They just said it, the woman said at this time, lay down. And she said she's going through a really challenging time. And she's like, for whatever reason, it felt like someone was holding my head. And when it was over, I felt like calm and centered. And I was like, who cares if it was the Reiki or just that you like paid
right.
money to sit still, feel your feelings, trust that maybe you're being cradled, or you know what I mean? Like even if it's
Yes,
all psychosomatic, who cares if it
yes. Who
works?
cares? Who
If
cares
that's
if it
what
works?
reminds you to
Right.
like keep your anxiety and stress at bay when you walk into the situation, then like palm your poo-colored crystals. They were such an ugly color. It was such a bummer, but
Oh, I thought they were so pretty. I
they
thought
were
they were
like,
like really pretty amber. I
oh,
liked
maybe
them.
amber's the word.
They
I'm
looked like
such a
a
child.
smoky. No, no, they were like a smoky. Yeah, I thought they were really pretty, and
They probably are. I
they
was
were
just a baby
massive.
and I was like, it looks like you're holding
No,
two
and it's
poos.
also fucking Kyle, so it's
Right.
real easy to be like, you suck, Kyle. Um, we learned that this has been one of the hardest years of Anna Marie's life. Make stupid fucking choices. What do they say? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I don't know. Don't fucking like Candace Owen, who is a transphobic at best, and you put your life on TV and then not expect people to call you out on your hatred and your bullshit and, take you to task for who your husband is, take you to task for being pumped that he calls you an 8.5. I don't know what to say, lady.
I mean, at this point, I felt the same way. I was like, oh, fuck off, Anne-Marie. And then in the course of the reunion, I was like, oh, her mother died suddenly. She had a cough. They went to the doctors. They found a massive tumor and she died.
Oh,
And
God.
Andy was so generous in saying like, and you didn't bring, this was all going on during filming. And I'm like, no wonder we felt disconnected to you. Like
Oh.
my astrologist always says, the most personal is the most universal, like when talking about like working on creative projects. And I just felt like you didn't give us anything personal, Anne-Marie. And so all we had was you crawling up Kyle's ass or like bitching about the difference between anesthesiologist and nurse anesthetist. Like, if you'd let us know that your mom, like, everyone's going to go through that if they haven't already. That would have been really interesting to see you manage that while getting to know a new group of friends. That's fucking relatable. But I'm with you. When she first said this, I was like, get fuck off.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, you were hiding something like really relatable and, and weirdly Kyle was going through grief. That could have been an interesting thing to bond you instead of just like hating Dorit or like, it just was such a wasted opportunity.
Totally. You're right. And I can't help but think, and this is again, like, you're so kind. I blew over that. Because my bias
She blew
against
over
her.
it. That's fair.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm all.
Yeah. She spent like 16 episodes not telling us anything.
You're right.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, that would have been, you're on reality TV. Like, that would have been a really, I don't know. I would have liked to see that storyline.
You're on reality TV. It's your job, I would say. Now, if I was a Real Housewife of Oakland, I would be talking about that stuff, which is why I'm not a Real Housewife of Oakland. A, they don't have that franchise. B, I'm not rich enough to be a fucking Real Housewife. C, I would have to think long and hard if I was willing to put it all out there, or at least 95%. I don't know if I'm willing to do that. But if you sign that contract, that's what you got to do, right?
I mean, with
On these
something
shows?
like a parent death, it just doesn't seem like, I understand if there's like personal things, like her husband's situation. I can imagine her not wanting to address that on the show, but you wouldn't have to. You could skirt right around that by going through something really relatable and really relevant. But instead you were just
Human.
Yeah. Instead you're just yelling at Crystal and telling
And
Kyle that, like, I just was stupid. Anyways.
So stupid. And I can't help but think that this is, the reason why she didn't do that is because she just is so concerned with how she comes across. I mean, who among us isn't? Like, again, that's another human thing that we all share. Human thing. That's so eloquent. It's another human thing we all share. Like, I'm sure there's a better way I could have said that. Why am I being so hard on myself this morning?
I don't know. What's going on?
I don't know. I could fucking cry right now. Like, why am I apologizing for myself? This is really whack as fuck.
I went to an Al-Anon meeting last night, Adult Children of Alcoholics meeting, and you read from this literature, and the whole reading was about self-criticism, and that's just like, it's a survival tool when you grow up in that household, and it just becomes like a default brain pathway, and it takes a lifetime to, undo it. But look at you. You just acknowledged that it was happening and that it doesn't necessarily have any basis in reality. And so now you can make a different choice, because nothing's the matter. Nothing you're saying is, I'll tell you, I'll raise my hand and say, like, you're out of line. But
all right. Man, I feel it in my throat. Like, I feel it. It's tight. I'm going to take a deep breath. Another one. I'm going to do one more if anyone wants to join me. Okay.
A little grounding, rose quartz energy.
A little ground. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. I don't know. I don't need to keep going, but I think she tries to cultivate an image and a persona, and it just didn't work. It didn't work.
She burned her whole first season just
completely
being a big nothing, when there was really something going on that would have been, interesting to watch.
When instead you could be like Monica and burn your whole first season, but actually make it thrilling / newsworthy / life giving, Anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. And then I think next is Erica going to Dorit's trailer. Is that right?
That is a good question.
Okay.
Yes, it is. No,
it's the last thing that caught my attention. or the next thing
Yes,
that caught my attention.
it is because I wrote down part of my note. I meant to go back and finish it, and I didn't. I watched this episode twice,
It's
and
hard.
it's
It's like a clip
still,
show. It's
yeah,
weird.
yeah,
But this is
yeah.
just teeing up that like Dorit is pissed off at Kyle because Kyle made a comment that made headlines saying that Dorit has exaggerated her friendship with Kyle. And then Dorit gets like, they showed the text on screen. She's like, Kyle has manipulated me and she's trying to silence me. And the text just said, like, I know we haven't talked in a minute. This has been a really hard time and I'd love to discuss what's going on with us personally after. And it, to me, it's like that you can say yes or no to that. Like you can still talk about it. Again, it's like the cocaine thing. She didn't threaten, like, I'm going to kill you and PK. I'm going to tell all your fucking secrets if you bring anything up. She just said, I'd prefer not to bring this up. I don't want to lose another friend because of a reality show. And then Erica, Dorit cites Erica saying on Watch What Happens Live that if Erica had to be eviscerated on the reunion last year, then Kyle shouldn't be exempt this year. And I, in my head, was like, careful, Dorit, your year's coming. And Kyle, whatever. Erica's got eviscerated because of criminal acts. I don't think Kyle deserves to be eviscerated for her family coming undone. That's personal. There are children involved. It's not criminal. Dorit, careful, because I think something criminal is coming down the pipeline for her ass. So if you're so intent on people being eviscerated, fucking brace yourself, dude. In your like weird vagina hood dress, like your time is coming.
Yes, that is the criminal offense here.
The dress?
In this episode. I have a whole probably page and a half. We'll get there.
Fashion.
She's wrong, and I finally figured out why.
Oh, good.
But we'll get there.
Great.
But yes, she does say she wants Kyle to be eviscerated, and I wonder though. It is weird though that, like, I know what it's like to be an adult child of an alcoholic. I know what it's like to feel terror about something being exposed, and you can't control what it is. Not a situation that is unique to adult children of alcoholics. I'm just saying that the one thing I can relate to about Kyle is, we're both brunette and we're both adult children of alcoholics. So I know what it's like to obsess about something and feel like you need to go to the ends of the earth to like manage the outcome of that thing or control the outcome of that thing. And so I can kind of understand where Dorit is coming from. Like, bitch, I don't hear from you for months, and then we're about to do this. I'm going to appeal to the parts of your heart that might still have space for me and ask you to not throw me under the fucking bus tomorrow. So I can see that. And
that makes sense. The way you said it makes sense. But saying like, she tried to silence me. It's like, no, she didn't. She did try to manipulate the part of your heart that might still be open to not
silence me. She's
she's the most.
She's so far away from fucking reality, dude.
Oh God! And this episode did her no favors. Oh boy,
none, not one. The other crime that happened is Kyle's fucking hair. I don't know why this woman is so committed to reunion hair that is so wildly different from how she wears it throughout the season. When we see her in paparazzi pictures, it's these weird, like the PC fang bangs that come out. Like, her hair at the last 2 or 3 reunions has been so like offensive to my eyes. It's like a 7th grade Sadie Hawkins dance kind of a vibe. I just get Claire's from it. Like, I hate her reunion looks consistently. They are terrible. Her hair is terrible.
Yeah, as the kids say, you're doing too much.
Therapeutic to say about it, but yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
I mean, I thought she looked beautiful, but like, I'm thinking back on her.
Gorgeous, but
yeah, and I'm thinking back on her prior hairdos, and you're right. There are these like severe hairsprayed pieces coming down in front of her eyes,
just so much going on. Like,
yes,
I love an updo. I'm wearing one. I love a ponytail. I love a PC bang. I love it all.
Did you like
But it,
Erica's hair with the two
uh,
like curled?
no,
No.
it kind of reminded me of Richie Rich.
Yeah, I thought she looked like a Klingon or whatever those like Star Trek
Or a
characters are.
fucking where we represent the lollipop guild. She was like giving
Yes.
full lollipop, sexy lollipop guild.
Hmm.
Oh my god,
She's built like a
sexy lollipop
lollipop these
guild,
days. There it
full
is.
on. The next thing I have is Dorit's outfit. I don't have anything else but
Yeah,
Dorit's
no,
outfit.
that was the next
Oh
point of
god,
offense. Yeah.
it was bad. Again, I'm going to bring up my acting teacher from LA, and if I mean, I cannot imagine how much money I gave this man. I gave him so much fucking money for all the years I was in class. And listen, it was great. It was worth it. One of the things that will never, ever leave me is that when we were looking for monologues to audition with, or, looking for a scene to do with a scene partner at a showcase or whatever, he would always stress, like, find the role that you wear, not the role that wears you. And you can apply that to everything. Dorit gets worn by her clothes all the time. She doesn't wear them. It's like, again, with the, oh my God, the look was just, it was an abomination. It was, I don't know what the fuck she was thinking. It was like, there's this soap that we grew up with called Maha soap. It's like, I don't know if it's a United States thing, but it's Spanish. It smells really good. It has this beautiful flamenco dancer with like the whole thing on like she did. But getting sewn into it to be late for that fucking mess. And I finally figured it out last night. She is so committed to fashion, or what she thinks is fashion, because she does not have a personality that is attractive. And I don't mean attractive in like a superficial way. I mean attractive like you want to get to know that person more. You want to be around them. Like, I miss you, Margie, when I don't see you. Like, I want you to be around me. I want to be around you. And that's how I feel with the majority of my friends. Obviously, that's how I feel with all of my friends, you know? And she has this fucking unidentifiable accent to make her interesting. And she wears a sweatshirt that says 90s supermodel on it because she thinks that's going to make her interesting. Dorit, you are not interesting. You're not interesting. And you look ridiculous in your outfits because they aren't interesting, because you don't have passion about them. I am co-MC for the third year at my kids' school's auction this Saturday night. And the theme is Barbieverse. And the first thing I thought of to wear was a black leather 80s strapless dress so that I could do a riff on the 1959 Barbie who had the ponytail. One was blonde, one was brunette. And she wore that black and white chevron strapless bathing suit. Well, obviously, I'm not going to wear a bathing suit to fucking the gala, you know? I guess I could, but like, I'm not going to. But I was like, okay, I'll pay homage with a ponytail, a brunette ponytail. I'll pay homage with a red lip. I'll pay homage with a strapless thing. I'll pay homage with my nails. I'm wearing vintage white pumps that saw their way all over Sunset Boulevard when I bought them in 2003. They went to the Viper Room. They went to the Rainbow. They went to the Whiskey. They went all those places.
I know those
And
pumps. I remember those
I
pumps.
love these fucking pumps. I will never get rid of them. Fuck whoever said no white pumps. They're the best. I love them. And they're now vintage to me because I've had them for so long. Which also speaks to you don't have to get rid of shit if you haven't worn it for 6 months. If you look at that thing and you are just like, oh, I love you. I don't even care if you're in my closet. I can't wait until I meet you again, friend. So my point is that like I did this for the last 2 auctions. Like, part of the fun for me is getting to like be creative with my outfit. Oh my God, I love to be fucking creative with clothes. That's why I love vintage shopping so much. I love I love it. Like it coaxes me up. Like I've been energized all week because I know that I get to play with one of my favorite mediums this weekend, like makeup, shoes, clothes. And wearing those white pumps makes me think of all the fun I've had in those white pumps. And it's like I get to wear a friend on my foot. I don't think that dress was fucking Dorit's friend. Do you know what I'm saying? She
Yes.
has nothing. She has nothing. And that is why no matter what she wears or no matter what she does, no matter how, I just cannot let go of that fucking leather jacket she had around her shoulders that I don't know what season it was. Oh my God, I'm like literally mad. I need to take another deep breath.
I don't remember the leather jacket.
Her choices make me so, like they give me, it's because she's so contrived. She's not honest. There's nothing authentic about Dorit Kemsley. There's nothing authentic about her. And if there is something authentic about Dorit, please tell me what it is, because I can't see it. I don't know what it is. That accent makes no fucking sense. Her clothes, on someone that really loves clothes and is really like, she.
I feel like, did you watch the Miami episode when they were in Mexico City and Gertie came down wearing like a blue version of that dress that had the hood and it was like fully backless. And like I blinked, but I didn't gasp. I was like, oh my God. And she wore it like it was the way I wear a sweatsuit. She was so comfortable in it. It made total sense that she was going to wear this to like cathedrals or whatever their outing was for that day. But then Dorit wears the same thing. And I spent the whole time like squinting at the TV being like, what is that? And what are you doing? And like,
I mean, what's
the point?
Like, I was so glad every time I saw the little hair clip showing, because I'm like, we're seeing behind the scenes, bitch. We're looking behind, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. We're looking at the fucking facade. I see it. It's crumbling. It's not real. You need to be authentic and have a personality, and then you can go to the clothes. But like, and you look fucking adorable in your sweats. Like every time you come visit or every time I visit you or when I lived in LA and I would see you, like your sweats are always so fucking cute and make me want to run out and get sweats. Me too. I love a sweatsuit. But yeah, she has nothing. I love watching Miami for the clothes. They all dress differently. They all have their own style. It's over the top. It's ostentatious, but it's authentic as shit. It's authentic to where they live. It's authentic to their personalities. No, none of them dress alike. None of them.
No. Did you see I didn't watch the reunion, but I saw them make their entrances and I was like, oh my God, it's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Even Larsa Pippen, who I kind of can't stand, I was like, yes, Larsa. This look is like so Queen of Hearts. Like you are the villain and you're just leaning in. And
she had the headpiece on, right?
Yeah. They like three of them had giant headpieces on.
Yes. I love a headpiece,
crown,
dude.
There was
love it.
Like it was amazing. But yes, but that felt authentic. I didn't look at it the way I looked at Dorit and I didn't think like, what is going on here? I thought like, oh, wow, this choice is in alignment with who you are. Right. And I would never have known to pick this out in a store. So good job,
that's
guys.
The same. It's the same thing with Heather Dubrow. I'm sure that in Heather's mind, she has the best clothing on her franchise. And I'm sure a lot of her fans and a lot of people just in general agree with her. And I will say that she is committed to her look. Like she knows how to rock a leather pencil skirt and a classically tailored top and a high-heeled pointy black pump. Like I get it. She knows her look, but it's still not original. It's not like maybe she feels passionate about her outfits, but I kind of don't think she does when she wore that, what you said, her like little saddle shoe outfit to go fucking carve pumpkins that one day with her long ass skirt. Like it doesn't matter what label it is. If it's wearing you and you're not wearing it, you're not interesting. And you're not real. And you're not creative.
That's the truth.
It's 55 minutes into this podcast, and we have not even sat down yet on this stage. Oh, shit, y'all. Oh,
It's
shit.
it is what it
Oh,
is, because there's
shit.
nothing really like there's nothing new that really happens. It starts with like the Kyle and Dorit package, where Dorit says she got stuck. Kyle, whatever. Basically, Dorit says she is annoyed by this notion that Kyle said something, that they exaggerated their friendship. I don't even know. Kyle was pissed that Dorit had asked her on camera about what was going on with Mauricio. She was also pissed that Dorit commented on her relationship with Morgan, knowing that this would like blow up in the media and cause more attention to the things that Kyle's trying to keep under the radar. The whole thing was just like, I don't know. It just there's nothing to resolve here. It's just like unless I missed something. I don't know. I just remember hearing Kyle say, like, my real friends get up and work out. You don't work out. I was like, what?
That was
the fuck?
insane. That
and
was
I took you on a walk
nuts.
once and you had to sit on the cement. I was like, is this a friendship? Oh my God.
That is, I mean, I never went running with you. We hiked Runyon a bunch of times.
Yeah. And also,
I'm not fucking going running with you.
And you're my friend, whether we sit on the cement or like run like an Olympic track event.
That's the more important part.
I can't. Both of them just seem like ridiculous and out of line. So
completely. Where are we at the part where Kyle defends Erica being a good friend? And,
yeah, that happened even earlier. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh,
I blew right by it.
No. So it's interesting. Again, Kyle is an adult child of an alcoholic. I am an adult child of an alcoholic. I don't behave like Kyle. I have done a shit ton of work on releasing the behaviors that can come with being an adult child of an alcoholic. And if those behaviors and thoughts come up, like it did earlier in this podcast, where I was like, oh, I'm beating myself up pretty hardcore right now. Like, I'm aware of it pretty quickly. So I do believe with every fiber of my being, like, put it on my epitaph, fiber of my being, that Kyle was saying those things. She was singing the praises of Erica Jane's friendship, loyalty, how she was there for her, and she's trustworthy. 100% she was doing that to fuck with Dorit and manipulate Dorit and make Dorit feel like shit.
I'm sure
because
that's true.
Untreated adult children of alcoholics, especially the victim ones, they know how to be a dick while being a victim. Mm-hmm. They know how to like hurt you while being a victim. And so she did it to emotionally punish, emotionally terrorize, and manipulate Dorit by going so like praising Erica's friendship so much.
That was a weird moment.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
There's no way she wouldn't have shit herself. There's no way she wouldn't have shit herself if she and Erica weren't in a good place. There's no way she wouldn't have taken that eviscerate Kyle. Which, did she actually say Kyle by name, or did she say that she wanted the rest of the cast? Right.
It should be
clickbait. Right. So the headline was manipulated. Like, there's no way that she would have let Erica slide with that one if she wasn't wanting to hurt Dorit.
Mm-hmm.
That's my theory.
And also, weirdly, she had a point that like such a comment is more a reflection of Erica than it is of Kyle. You know, she's like, that was about Erica and what she was going through and her anger at you, Andy. That wasn't about me. And I was like, that's sort of true. And also everything that you just said. So shall we move on to Garcelle's
please
segment?
God. Yes, please.
Yes. So we just sort of relook at her relationship with her boys. And I thought it was interesting that she said part of the reason she accepted a reality TV job is because it would keep her home more. And it sounds like their father does like no parenting, never talks to them about his affair, never talks to them about the divorce, sex, feelings, none of it. She says if they don't get it from me, they're not going to get it anywhere else. And I was like, that is a true single parent. Like, he may be around, but like, yeah, he's not doing anything to support these kids.
They'll know. They'll know. They probably already do. But if not, they're going to know. They're going to know. The older they get, if they choose to have children, they're going to see everything clear as day.
Yeah, but it's still sad.
It's so
like,
sad.
That's the thing is it doesn't matter. And again, this is all stuff I've worked on in therapy. It doesn't matter who's right and wrong. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm just sad that certain things happened, and they will have to be too. And that's like, what a disappointment, that guy.
Such a
What a
disappointment.
disappointment.
It's such a disappointment. Like, what are you doing if you're not like, okay, I get it. I get it. If you're a parent, the bare minimum is you can hopefully afford to feed them and clothe them. But like, you know, that's my job, is to keep my kid safe and to ensure that he is growing, you know? Oh God, what am I trying to say? I just don't understand like how you can be I don't understand how you can be a parent and not recognize that your children's emotional coping skills and being honest and how do I explain this? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand parents that don't want to talk about feelings with their kids unless they think they're trying to protect them, but it's just harming them. Like, you're giving them skills to be able to
But it's
cope
to
as
protect
adults.
themselves. Like, he doesn't want to
It
talk
is,
about
isn't
the
it?
affair because it makes
Yeah,
him look
because
bad
it
and
makes
feel
him look
bad.
bad and he
And it
feels
makes him
bad.
feel
You're right.
bad.
You're
Like,
right.
I think
You're
it's a
right.
lot of why my dad doesn't like to talk about anything that went left, because it makes him feel bad. He
Oh
didn't,
my God. You're right.
I don't think he wanted to hurt anyone, but he did. And it was really bad. So he doesn't want to talk about it because, like, why look head on at something that makes you so uncomfortable? So, but
That's way more accurate than what I just said.
no,
You're
who
100%
knows?
right.
I
You
don't
know,
know anything, but I just am. I'm with you. I think those boys are lucky to have Garcelle as a mom. Like,
100%.
she's, you know, like, she's a busy working lady, but she is checked the fuck in, and they are her
She's so
priority
checked
with
in.
every decision she makes. And, you know, flowers for Garcelle.
100%. And she looked stunning last night.
Mm-hmm.
I loved her
Her
dress.
hair.
I loved the bob that was like, whoop, went up a
Mm-hmm.
little bit and then got longer in the front. I see you, Garcelle.
And
I
the
think
bob
you're
was almost
stunning.
like, it almost looked like ombre into the dress,
Oh
like the
my God.
color
It
of
was
the
so
hair moving into
beautiful.
the dress. She looked great.
I mean, that is authentic. Dorit she might have been a dramatic, striking thing to look at from a distance, but she's not authentic.
No, everybody gasped in a bad way when she walked on the stage. And somebody even was like, Mother Teresa. Like, it's just so not like, it just didn't make any sense.
Did not
Speaking of
make no
Dorit,
sense.
then we rehashed Dorit's
Oh
ignorance and
boy.
unconscious Karen-ness. And it's all the same thing. I appreciated Garcelle saying, this is my problem with Dorit. She takes things and then makes them personal, and then she becomes the victim. So Dorit, and as we go through this, like, Dorit has learned nothing. Her racism is just, it's gotten worse, as we see with the child bride comment. And she's like, oh, they called Priscilla. It's just like, you are so disinterested in figuring out like what the problem is. And I just, she said at the end of this segment, like, I don't know all the words, you know, as Garcelle said that the word attack was over the line. And she's like, well, I don't know all the words. You have to judge on character. And I'm like, no, that's lazy. Like, your character stinks. So educate yourself and change your behavior. And she gave me another opportunity to say that when she's addressing Crystal and the child bride comment. She's so defensive and so dumb and so wrong.
She's such a fucking racist ignoramus, dude. She's such a racist ignoramus. I know that's not breaking fucking news or anything, but like,
No, but watching the clip back of the four of
it
them,
was,
PK,
yeah.
Mauricio, Kyle, and Dorit laughing. And you'll love it. I was just like, oh, Kyle's an unforgivable nightmare, because she's the one who brought it up on camera to laugh at. Did you hear what? It's like, oh, all
If
four of
someone,
you have not appropriately apologized for this, because every time anyone mentioned that, I would spend the rest of my life trying to make up for the degree of harm I caused by doing something like that, if I'd ever done something like that, let alone on camera. Ew.
If someone did that to Portia, or her older daughters for that matter, I just chose Portia because she's still, when that scene happened, she was still young, like younger. I mean, she's 16, 17 now. Like, I don't know how old she is now, but she was 16 in this season that just wrapped. Kyle would have shat and cried, and it would have been like a whole season thing for her probably. Fuck
But
Kyle
the
Richards.
added element is the racism part. It's like, yes, any
100%.
harming any child, talking shit about any child is awful, but the experience of a 14-year-old child of color being cussed at by a drunk white woman at a party, there's just, it's so loaded. And the fact that Dorit is incapable of looking at that is just, again, talk about disappointing. I was like, oh man, you watched this whole season back and here we are again. Boo.
I mean, honestly, there's there's so many books. There's so many books.
Well, you
But
don't need a
by
book.
all
You have a
means,
friend who is telling you,
right.
like, this is harming me and you're not letting me have my feelings. Garcelle said, I just needed to have my feelings. And then she turned it on Dorit appropriately and said, I wasn't singling you out. That's why I feel like when people are guilty, they take it on. Dorit, 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 Dorit. Dorit's so afraid of being a racist that she's being a racist.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. Stop expecting Garcelle to do your work. Say fucking sorry. Shut the fuck up. Just be quiet. Or you know what? Why don't you find fashion, Dorit? Why don't you find some fashion that includes something that covers your fucking mouth, but has holes cut out for your ears so you can listen to people. We're both mothers. I don't care. I don't relate to all moms. I don't relate to all moms just because we're moms.
I did think it was
Absolutely
interesting
not.
when Anne Marie piped up and she said, and
Me
it was
too.
true, that when Sutton was, accusing Anne Marie of yelling at her, Anne Marie wasn't yelling at her. And Anne Marie was right. Garcelle was sitting right there. But Garcelle's friendship with Sutton sort of overrode her interest in that moment of
Yeah.
saying what she had wanted, others to do for her. But Garcelle's also right in saying, like, you can take care of yourself. I took care of myself. You can take care of yourself. So
That's true too. It's true
it's
too.
just
I
a
know.
no-win situation.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
And it broke my heart when Garcelle said something to the effect of, like, having that attack label out there. She said, when people meet me, it changes their perception of me. And I was like, that's fucked. Dorit, you and your stupid dress.
Well, guess what, Dorit? I'm not a fucking racist. I call out racism. And my perception of Garcelle only grew to more respect and more empathy and more sympathy and more allyship. And my opinion of you, it tanked to subterranean levels that I didn't know I could drill down that fucking far to get.
She is uglier than her dress, if that's
She's uglier
even
than her
possible.
dress. She is uglier than her dress. Ding, 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 Margaret.
And Andy,
God
I
damn
thought,
it.
rightly said in Dorit's direction, he says, in situations like this, sometimes it's better to listen and say less. I was like, yes, sir.
If Andy Cohen is saying that,
I know.
if
Oh,
Andy
God.
Cohen is saying that, Dorit, take a
And
season
it concluded
off,
with
dude.
Dorit asking, which I love. She asked Garcelle, she said, do you like me? And I was like, oh, God, don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
Nope.
And Garcelle answered, sometimes. I love her.
I do too.
It's great.
Authentic to the core, authentic to the bone, authentic on her side for life.
Yeah. And she wasn't going to lie just because she was in a situation that, anyways.
Yeah. And then the bubble comments, like living in the bubble, she did double down. She did double down.
She tripled down.
Oh,
I didn't know
fuck that
she'd
bitch.
posted that third thing of, like, the only people in my bubble are these people, and that's all I care about. It was like, oh my God.
She sucks so bad. She sucks so bad.
And again, I loved Garcelle for telling the truth. Dorit said something like, did you really think I was posting those to put my middle finger up? And Garcelle goes, yes. Like, yeah. And she was like, oh, just mortally wounded. Just cannot look at what might have been offensive about that. Just cannot look at it.
So defensive.
It has to be Garcelle's fault. It has to be a misinterpretation of her really good character. You stink.
My nightmare is being defensive in a fucking terrible, god-awful dress that is wearing me that I'm not wearing.
Then you lose on every level.
Dorit is my nightmare.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if I'm ever like Dorit, tell me, but I'll never be like Dorit.
And I will tell you if it starts coming up.
Right.
Then we head into this like let their freak flags fly package, which I just, again, I don't care about. Sutton's a driver with benefits. The only interesting part to me was when Andy asked Kyle what's changed, after, some pretty straight-laced seasons. This season, she's scissoring with Dorit and talking about dating a woman. And Kyle, again, in an adult child of an alcoholic way, was like, I was raised by the book. I followed all the rules. And now my mind is opening to new experiences, including potentially dating a woman. So, in that moment, good on you, Kyle.
Yeah.
Progress.
Absolutely. And all I had written down was like when, like, I think any of them would date women. I don't think gender should be a fucking consideration when you're considering, like, if you're attracted to them and they're nice to you. I mean, that would be, I guess that would be like the bottom line criteria. I don't know.
Which
but
is why it was
shouldn't.
so old school when Sutton was like, and we would support you. We wouldn't judge you. I'm like, that's something you say in the 80s. It's 2024.
Right.
Of course. The
It's
assumption is you won't judge.
Exactly.
Oh my
Exactly.
God, Sutton.
I know. You're
Shut
right. You're
up.
absolutely right, dude. Oh, that's hilarious. That is so funny. Oh,
And then we're
Crystal's.
into Anne-Marie.
Oh,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead,
No,
sorry.
go ahead. Go.
No. The next note I have, I don't even know if I skipped over stuff. I could have, but Crystal says that Dorit hasn't seen a real body part in years, and I laughed my motherfucking ass off.
And again, Dorit immediately defensive. Like, besides my boobs, what's fake? And it's like everybody sort of like was side-eyeing, like your nose, your everything,
whole face,
your whole
literally
entire,
your whole
your
face,
cheekbones. Like, okay,
your hair. I mean, like, and again, it's no judgment.
no, I
no
can't
shade
wait till everything on me is fake.
whatsoever.
I cannot wait.
Margie.
She's so blessed, and she has no sense of humor. I think that's just what is like exhausting about
Because she has no
Dorit.
personality.
Yes,
because she doesn't know who she is.
That dress is hilarious. Her thinking that nobody knows that her body is like 90% silicone is hilarious. She's funny.
We have eyes. We've seen her yearbook picture.
I know.
Come on. I wonder how many people are going to go as Dorit for Halloween next year. I need to write that down. Maybe I'll go as Dorit Kemsley for Halloween in that dress. Yeah. Because that was fucking terrifying. Dress was terrifying.
It's good for the cold weather because it has a hood. So
the next thing I have written down is Anne-Marie's greatest hits are shown in flashback and the 8.5 conversation. My fucking God. My fucking God. This was the thing that I took from the 8.5 conversation. Is there anything before that?
No.
Okay. So here's the thing. I have never been one to subscribe to the notion that your spouse, partner, husband, wife, however you refer to your long-term person, or your short-term person, whatever, I have never been able to understand the "they're my best friend" sentiment. I don't want my husband to be my best friend. Obviously, I want to be close to him. I want to have, like, raw, truthful, intimate, authentic conversations, and I want him to know me, body, mind, soul. But my relationships with my girlfriends, they run long and deep. And I talk to them about things and in ways that I don't with my husband because, A, I don't think he'd be fucking interested in hearing what we all talk about. And B, it is completely okay that my husband not be everything to me. And that is, again, that is not a criticism on him. This is how I would feel in any romantic relationship. Like, I don't understand that. I don't want it and I don't understand it. And
I had to learn that in therapy. One of the reasons I came into therapy is because I was fucking up a relationship I was in, and I like loved this person so much and I kept fucking up. And like the therapist, that's where I learned, like, you can't put that pressure on him to like be everything to you. And I was like, but I love him so much and he's so funny and I love talking to him and I love being around him. And she's like, that's great. And, like, it's a balance. And, I don't know. That's where I still probably don't have a handle on that. Like, I think my relationships have been like, I've considered those people like the best friend variety. Well, maybe not one, but most of them. Yeah, it's complicated, but it's never like I learned early on in that first love relationship that I needed help with. I learned early on that like the balance is everything. Like,
Totally.
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Net. There is 0.0 wrong with not being best friends with your
Well, I'm not going to be
partner.
best friends with someone who calls me an 8.5 across the board.
Oh my
That
God.
is such a bummer. I don't want to tell that person anything.
Dude. Ew. I don't want anything that they have. I don't want nothing that they have. I don't.
No.
Anyway.
And then she does mention the death of her mom, and then I felt sad for her. And then we get into anesthesiology gate, which is just, I mean, I think my takeaway, which I appreciated, is that Crystal said that she thinks Anne-Marie intentionally misrepresents her profession because people don't know the difference. I think that might be true. But I was interested to hear that, the only difference between an anesthesiologist and a nurse anesthetist is like years of school, title, and pay. It sounds like they do the same thing, because I've been, had procedures, and it is the nurse who, anyways, the anesthesiologist comes to talk to you before the procedure, or in my experience, and then it's the nurse anesthetist who actually administers the medication. I don't know. Who cares? Who cares?
Who calculates how much to give me so I don't die, but I don't feel pain, though?
Probably the anesthesiologist.
Like, that is, I cannot imagine. I mean, right. When you learn how much an anesthesiologist makes, you're like, holy shit. But it's like, too much, and you leave this mortal coil. Not enough, I'm going to be traumatized for life and never forget what it felt like to be operated on, and I can feel that shit. You know what I mean? Like, So when I think about it like that, I'm all...
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing about this whole thing. It's like, I don't think I don't know. I don't think it shouldn't have been this big of a deal. What Anne-Marie does is important work. It doesn't come with the same responsibility as an anesthesiologist, because if someone gets sued for malpractice, it's them. So the stakes are a little higher for them, but it doesn't mean your work is unimportant. And I was glad to hear Anne-Marie say that she hated watching it back, that she regrets her behavior. But she continued to lie and say, like, I didn't say she had an eating disorder. It's like, yes, you did.
You fully did.
And then you said Crystal said she had an eating disorder, and she denied. Like, she's just annoying to me.
On tape, you guys, come on. The ruse is up. Yay, Sutton brought awareness to esophageal issues. That's good. It's always good. Sure. It's always good when people feel less alone in their...
Sorry.
Oh, my God. I love you so much. Oh, my God. That was amazing. Okay. Oh, Crystal. Here we go. She said that she had a really hard time this season watching everyone come back and being super, super skinny, and that it really triggered her eating disorder. It really did. Or the parts of her eating disorder that make her focus on that stuff. And boy, do I understand that kind of thinking. Hello. Had it. Years.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And it was interesting to hear her say that the reason she was so outraged about Anne-Marie suggesting that Sutton has an eating disorder is because she has one. And as someone with one, she was like, you don't just toss that around like it's, Sutton's wearing her hair in a bun, and it's like not the same.
It's not the same.
It's really damning. And especially if someone does have an eating disorder, it's not, I don't have experience. This is not my experience, but it's similar. Well, but whatever it is, it's like being outed. Like, even if Sutton does have an eating disorder, and I think there's evidence to indicate she might, nobody else needs to tell
No,
anybody that.
that's not
If
for
and
any,
when
right,
Sutton comes to terms with it and wants to say it, that's hers to say.
right.
But having someone do that on her behalf was gross.
It was disgusting. It was
Yes.
unconscionable. And I wonder if it speaks to like eating disorders not being taken as seriously as they should.
I
That it
think
could just
it's,
be like something you just like casually say or
yeah,
accuse someone or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I think so. Cause it's said so flippantly as if it's not like, as they say, it's a slow suicide, like an eating disorder. Like you're not going to not die. It's just going to take you a lot longer. So it's really
Yeah.
damaging and it's really
Robs you of
serious.
joy for sure.
Yeah. And it fucks with your system, like it just is it is a big deal and it requires sensitive attention. And Anne Marie, who is a doctor, she knows better and she chose not to do better. And that's who she is. So she can apologize all she wants, but now you've like hidden the one story that would have been of interest to people about your mom's diagnosis and suddenly passing. And you've, I think Crystal said it, like weaponized her place as a medical professional to harm Sutton in just like a shitty, thoughtless, careless way. So fuck
What
her.
do we expect from someone that likes Candace Owens?
It all
What do
lines
we
up, I guess,
expect?
doesn't it?
It all goes in that same package. Yep. Um, let's see. Oh, Kyle and Dorit issues with wait a minute. Oh shit. Okay. Oh god, we haven't talked about Child Bride yet. Fuck. I'm never mind. Please,
No,
let's
I
Child Bride
mean,
it.
we touched on it. It's Crystal is confronted about calling the women shallow and uneducated. And I did love this. Andy asked Dorit why she was particularly offended. And Dorit goes, well, I think I'm the only one here with a college degree. And like everyone laughed. It's just like, first of all, there were apparently 3 other people on the stage who had a college degree. And God bless Garcelle for saying you don't have to have a college degree to be educated. So like, eat shit, Dorit. And then Crystal said, I stand by calling Dorit uneducated because she made a comment about calling me a child bride. And, the comment was, while you were busy getting married at 12, we were all busy building businesses and educating
Fuck
ourselves.
all the way off, Dorit. Fuck all the way off.
Yeah.
And if she's so educated, why doesn't she know she's being a fucking racist, unconscious Karen?
Because
She's so stupid.
she's an ignorant trash bag.
She sucks. And trust me, I'm not out here saying that just because you're highly educated or have a college degree that you're not capable of being a real asshole racist, because clearly that makes no difference. But just to use her own bullshit against her.
Well, and again, it's just she's immediately defensive when Crystal tells her that's extremely offensive because it has the same significance as mail order bride. Dorit says, well, they called Priscilla Presley a child bride, and everyone on stage groaned. And everyone on stage said, it's because she's Asian. And Garcelle just like sighed and was like, oh my God, this is what the problem is. And then Kyle got defensive of Dorit. And she was like, well, to be fair to Dorit, whenever, it's just the number people choose. When everybody says someone was young, they say like, oh, she was 12 when it's like, what? Everybody stop it. Stop it.
No.
It was a micro-aggressive comment. It doesn't matter what your intention was. Your intention sucks. So learn something and try to change your behavior. It's just so ugly.
And Priscilla was legitimately a child bride. Like she was fucking
and that's
14.
Gross.
Dude,
and that's
disgusting. It's disgusting.
They didn't call her a child bride. She was a child bride and it was gross. So
it was
what's your
foul.
argument here, Dorit?
Exactly. Oh,
Idiot.
God. Fully. Oh, my God. So Andy asks Kyle about, she's now like new and improved Kyle or just new Kyle. And she's coping by compartmentalizing parts of her life or not being able to get on the couch. And I was all relatable.
I thought that was, and I do want to give Andy credit he did a really nice job addressing grief. And I wrote this down with relation to Anne Marie. He asked her when Anne Marie said her mom had passed, he said, "What do you want to tell us about her? What do you want us to know about her?" And she couldn't answer because she was crying. And then he said, "What was her name?" And like, that's such an important thing when someone's gone, is to like have their name said. It's not offensive. It's like really important to know that they existed, they're remembered. And I thought Andy did a lovely job with that. And here, asking about, after the death of Lorene, how Kyle's dealing with her grief. I just thought that was like a very sensitive, thoughtful question.
Yeah.
And specific to grief.
Yeah.
And her grief process is totally relatable, like you said. Like, she either dissociates to try to get through her day, or she has trouble getting off the couch, because it's like and it's been almost a year now, and that's grief. Like,
Totally.
it's crushing until it's not. Like, you know, somewhere it says like that grief creates a hole and you have to like grow a whole new self around it. It's not like it ever goes away.
God,
you just have to like
doesn't.
create a new version of you that encompasses this grief now. And that takes a lot of time. So good for Kyle for answering honestly.
Oof. Kyle and Dorit issues. Kyle says, like, you dick rode for my fucking sister, and that wasn't fucking cool. And I agree. And I can't help but think probably this is influenced, probably, because I can't stand this woman, but like, Dorit is such a starfucker. She's such a fucking fame whore starfucker.
For Kathy Hilton, they all are.
Kathy Hilton.
Sutton
Of
is
all
like,
the
they all
people
will toss Kyle to the wolves so they can go to a Kathy Hilton event, you know?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I can't imagine. I can't imagine wanting to be around that person who was I mean, we don't need to go through all of Kathy's egregious shortcomings and offenses.
Just so unsatisfying for me. I understand, I guess I'm starting to understand that there is real gratification for other people in just being around that kind of tax bracket, I guess. But to me, it's just so hollow and sad. And like, unless there's something else going on there, then like just being seen in the presence of like an extremely rich person is like not, I don't know what, I don't know why it's worth throwing a friendship away. So
I don't either, dude. I really don't. She continues to be Dorit. She dirty foots. She dirty foots constantly.
She's full dirty foot. And then Kyle accuses Dorit of just wanting to be on the side of the audience. And Dorit tries like, I don't follow what the audience thinks. It's like, you're posting on. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. Stop
Again,
being defensive and stop lying. It's annoying. And that's the end of the first installment of this reunion.
Net, Dorit is being asked to pay for her bullshit, and she can't afford it. She can't fucking afford it. She's got no moral money to take care of her microaggression-filled, ignorant, lack of responsibility-taking debts.
Yeah, she really came
Bring
off
on
like
next season.
Asshole.
She's a tool, 100%. Oh, what else did you watch this week?
This week, I watched Love is Blind, and it's really good.
I can't wait to start it.
It's really good and ridiculous, but it's great. And I watched The Bachelor, and I don't remember what happened. And then I watched Vanderpump Rules, and Sandoval is just like absurdist theater at this point. He's just such a ridiculous,
only way to describe him at this point. 100%. 100%.
It reminds me of like, do you have any recollection of like probably 10 years ago? Now, Shia LaBeouf did this performance art piece where he put a paper bag over his head that he'd scrawled, I'm no longer famous, or something like that. And then people would come in and read mean things to him about him. And his only response was, I'm sorry. It was called like the I Am Sorry Project or something.
Oh
And
my
to
God.
me, it's so pretentious and so
Forgot
pointless.
about that.
It defeats the whole purpose of what you're saying is true. You're making yourself famous by creating this spectacle and then saying like atoning by just saying, I am sorry to strangers with a bag over your head. Anyways, that's how I feel about Tom Sandoval. I'm just like, you are so disconnected from what you did. He still is just insisting that he's the victim and that James did it too. It's just like
God.
you
Oh my
can't.
God. Oh my God.
He
Oh my
had
God.
1 minute where he said sorry, but he didn't say what for, so I don't believe him. So yeah, he's just a ridiculous. And when they were smashing the wall and he was
Oh my
saying like
God.
worm with a mustache, it's like too soon, you piece of shit. Too soon. Nobody, it's not funny when you say it. And it only signifies how completely ignorant you are about how your disgusting cheating affected everyone. It's not just about you and Ariana. All of these people are suffering because you're a worm with a mustache. So, anyways.
Just like doing it in front of the people that said it. It was
Yes.
just so fucking performative and contrived, which is Tom Sandoval in a nutshell. So he's Tom Sandovaling,
He is. It's so sad.
but
There
it's
used to be some
uncomfortable to
like,
watch.
yeah, there used to be some like dopey innocence to him. And now, like, anyone can recover from a terrible fall, but he is just digging deeper and deeper and deeper. Like, oof. It's
I know.
ridiculous. He's ridiculous.
He's ridiculous. He's ridiculous.
What about you? What did you watch this week?
I also watched Vanderpump
Mhm.
because, what else are you going to do on a Tuesday night, I guess? Watch The Bachelor. I hate, I hated the dates. I hated the dates. They were so
What were they? I
stupid.
don't even
I don't even
remember.
remember. I just remember going like I think I was online shopping at the same time because,
Perfect.
exactly. Um, I watched, did I watch the Miami reunion or finale or did I already watch that? I might have watched the Miami finale. God, I guess I didn't watch a lot of unscripted. I think that's it. Just the huge. Pretty sure just the huge. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not as disappointed in this Vanderpump season as everyone else. Like, I think what's going on between Sheena and Brock is really interesting.
Oh God, I don't
His
like it at
impatience.
all.
I don't either, but it's
Yeah.
not uncommon that
Nope.
there's a lot of like mental and emotional baggage. I don't know, entrusting your child in anyone's care. And there's a lot of impatience from Brock
Right.
of like, just do the other thing, just do it this way instead. And it's like,
Plus,
ugh.
like Summer is still really young.
she's
She's a baby. She's a
she's
baby.
yeah, barely
And
talking. Like
I
yeah.
right. Um I understand that Brock wants his life to get back to what it was pre-kid. FYI, it's not going to fucking happen. Like, it just doesn't fucking happen.
Yeah, because life includes a kid now.
Because
So
life
your
includes a kid now.
pre-kid life
Right.
is
Right.
over. Now there is one. So this is life now,
Right.
Brock.
Finding babysitters, finding childcare that I trust, love, that Leo trusts and love, it's a process that's very daunting to me. I avoid it. My ADHD fucking hates it. Hates, hates, hates. I need to do it. I need to find someone. A lot of our babysitters left during COVID and they were so lovely, but I need to find somebody. Like, it's not okay for anyone else in this house to not have reliable childcare for my kids so that I can go do things with my husband and, we don't have to panic or Rochambeau about who's going to go and who's not going to go. But with everything that Sheena has going on, yeah, the way he handled it, the way Brock handled it was so fucking inappropriate. And
He did apologize, though. I also appreciated that
yeah, he
full
did.
circle that he was like, that
He
was out
did.
of line. I need to listen some more. And to me, that feels like the reality of a real long-term relationship is there are these like explosive moments of impatience. And then if it's a worthwhile relationship, like I appreciated him coming back around. I don't think he's learned anything yet, but it sounds like
Yeah.
at least he knows
Yeah.
that he hurt her, and that's not going to solve
That's
anything.
true. You're right. You're right.
While he was wearing a bikini and a flowy robe.
It was, and then she was criticizing him over the way he did laundry, and now shit is pink because he put in something red. It was just too, no,
Yeah,
didn't
both of
want
them
to.
were, that was just, again, it's not about the pink laundry. There's
No,
like a
it's,
much bigger thing going on.
yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes it's easier just to yell about pink laundry.
Oh my God, 100%. 100% it is. What was your antidepressant this week?
My antidepressant was, I guess, I mean, it's been my antidepressant before, but it's real. This dance class that I take, it's in this giant warehouse space. The music is so loud. The teacher is like maybe the nicest man I've ever met in my life. He's so sweet, and he just operates from such a different headspace than I do. Like, the choreography this week was like amazing and magical, and the way he teaches it is he's like, and with these steps you're walking into the next dimension, and he's like really serious about it, and like that's how he choreographs. Like, when he
I
hears
love
the
that.
music, these particular movements, he imagines moving into another dimension. And like, I don't think like that. I'm very, like, again, probably as a result of being an adult child and an alcoholic, I have to live in only reality because I have to be aware of everything that's going on. And this class gives me a chance to like unplug that completely and just like try to take steps that lead me into the next reality. And he's just lovely. And the class was so fun. And a friend of mine came this week, and like, it's such a supportive community of people. Like, they know, there's some health stuff going on with my mom, and like they met her when she came to the show back in October, so they ask after her, and it's just like lovely. I don't even know, again, I mentioned it last week, and I stand by it. Like, connection is the opposite of addiction. It's like everything is okay when I'm surrounded by people who know the truth of what's going on in my life, and and vice versa. So
Yeah.
it's, dance and friends and music and authenticity and love and all the things. So that was my antidepressant.
Totally.
How about you?
Let's see. I got some, I touched up my caramel pieces and my balayage, which always gives me like, I always love that. I got a new set of nails, which is every time I look at them, like a little hit of dopamine just goes, pew, pew, and it'll happen until they come off. Just everything going into prepping for the auction, like I know that it's a school fundraiser, like an elementary school fundraiser, but I get to be creative. Like every year I do like a little icebreaker that I have to write. So, because I want to get people to like pay attention and get ready to start, raising their paddles to bid on stuff, and find a way that we can all kind of like laugh and I want to get rid of the tension that I'm holding up there. Like it's scary to talk in front of 100 to 150 people. But it's also like, I love doing it. So that is really, it's going to be really fun. Like, I can't wait to do my hair and do my makeup and show up, and I have my note cards, and
I mean, I consider it like you have a show this weekend.
yeah.
So like, it's all of those things. Yeah.
It's going to be fun. I love my husband's outfit that he's going to wear. I love my outfit. It was really fun to put it together. And it's going to be also like a night out. School
That'll be
fundraiser
nice.
is going to be a night out.
Listen.
So yeah, it's quasi simple things that were, and I did ketamine at home last night. And while it did not get super psychedelic, like at all, which is interesting. I'm not sure why. When I was done, shit felt more right-sized. So, it works even if it's not like super fun while I'm on it. It does what it's supposed to do. So that's a literal antidepressant. So yeah.
Amazing.
Yep.
Sorry, the trash truck is here.
I didn't even hear it, honestly.
Okay, I'm like, that's how we know we've reached the end, is the garbage truck is here.
Oh my God. Well, everyone, thanks for hanging in at our extra. Well, I guess it's only 20 minutes longer than it usually is. You know what? No, it's hovering around the real time. Who
It's probably
cares?
20 minutes of reunion content, and then the rest is
Right.
us just
And then the
talking
rest is
about
other
other
stuff.
shit.
But we, again, rate, review, subscribe, please. And I hope everyone has a great week. Margie, I hope you have a great week. I'm sure I'll talk to you later on today, but
Yes. And I hope
yeah.
you have a great weekend. I can't wait to hear about
Thank you, friend.
the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody take good care of yourselves, and we'll talk next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.